I get it. Your budget's small, working capital is tight, staffing limited. But it does not mean that you have to be sloppy and tacky. Find out why excellence is number 3 on our Super 7 list of ethical standards on this episode of Doing Small Better with Layne Allen Fields. Come on, y'all, let's talk about it. Welcome to Doing Small Better with Layne Allen Fields. I'm your host, Layne Allen Fields, and I help leaders of faith-based organizations and faith-based small businesses with revenues of $2 million or less improve their ethics, improve their effectiveness, and ultimately improve their earnings through coaching and consulting. As we walk our way through the Super 7 list of ethical standards, remember, everyone in your organization should have a very clear understanding of what your ethical standards are, your codes of conduct, your professional standards, your core values, however you'd like to define it. And for the sake of what we're doing here, I've compiled a list of what I call the Super 7 ethical standards. And that would be respect, honesty, excellence, responsibility, compassion, fairness, and citizenship. And today, I want to focus on number 3, which is excellence. What's the difference between average and excellence? I've come to learn that that's truly a subjective construct, because what's excellent to me might not be excellent to someone else, and what's excellent to someone else might not be what I call excellence. And so there's got to be a way to define what excellence means in your context. And notice that I didn't say perfection. I didn't say flawless. I said excellent. With perfection, there's no room for growth in perfection. Where do you go when something is absolutely perfect? If it's absolutely perfect, then I think that's the logical conclusion of the matter. But if it's excellent, then excellence still allows room for growth, because here's how I define excellence. I define excellence by taking what you have available to you right now, what's in your hand, taking where you are, what your starting point has been, what your advancement level has been, in reference or in comparison to where you could ultimately go when your organization or your business meets full maturity. So taking what you have, starting where you are, and then doing the absolute best that you can with what you have and where you are. That means that even if you have limited resources, even if you have a small budget, even if you have very tight working capital or a very limited staff, you can still do your best. Now, this lesson was driven home with me as a child. My mother used to always say, Layne, do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it over again. Do it right the first time, and you won't have to come back in from playing and enjoying time with your friends to do something over that I told you to do right the first time. And it took a while to learn those lessons, but yes, as a small business, a small ministry, just do it right the first time. It'll save you money. It'll save you aggravation. It'll save you time. So let's dig in on the difference between excellence and perfection. So what I find about excellence is that excellence is achievable. First of all, you can do an excellent job no matter what your resources are. So excellence is achievable. Excellence is also sustainable. When you operate in excellence, when you try to provide excellent service, excellent customer service, excellent craftsmanship, excellent performance, Not only is it sustainable, but you can grow that. You can get better over time. The more you learn, the more you mature, the more your business becomes skilled at what it does, the more your organization perfects its processes. And when you implement systems into what you're doing over the course of time, not only is it achievable, but it's sustainable and it's growable. Is growable a word? All right, for today, let's say growable is a word. But perfection is unrealistic. Perfection leads to burnout. Perfection leads to high levels of stress and anxiety. Perfection really is consumed with what other people have to say about it, but not excellence. Excellence is driven from Colossians 3 and 23, which says, and whatever you do it heartily as unto the Lord and not unto man. So the difference between excellence and perfection is that excellence aims to please an audience of one, and that's God, even above and beyond your clientele or the people that you serve. Excellence aims to please God. God, are you pleased with what we're doing? Are you pleased with the way that we're doing it? Are you pleased with the heart behind what we're doing and why we're doing it? Whereas perfection, its sole aiming is to impress other people. And when you don't impress other people the way you feel like you should, then that's what leads to depression and sadness and anxiety and burnout and this ever processing loop of dissatisfaction with what you're doing. However, with excellence, the goal is to please an audience of one. Now, for my example today of how I've been able to take limited resources, limited operating capital, small staffing, and do an excellent job. It reminds me of when we planted our most recent church, and we had limited resources, we had limited human resources, limited staffing, but the people who were with me, and I could name names, but I don't want to name names because every time you do, if you forget somebody, they're offended. But those of you who may one day see this video, you know exactly who you are, and you know exactly how much I love and appreciate you for what you did. Um, but with that said, we launched our church in the back of a roller skating rink, and we took this old, outdated space and put in a lot of sweat equity and elbow grease and prayer and volunteer hours. And with just a handful of people, we turned it into our personal sanctuary where we came and gathered for worship and study and fellowship and family dinners. It was amazing, this multi-use facility and how we used it in so many diverse ways. And so people would come and visit, and the just the atmosphere looked like we did it with many, many thousands of dollars. The quality of the sound and the quality of the worship and the singing, and it was just amazing. I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words at how it turned out with what we started with. And that will always be near and dear to my heart because you can go into these big churches, big ministries, and they've got all the smoke and mirrors, the bells and the whistles. We didn't have any of that, but yet we presented what we believe to be excellence to our God. And excellence was the way that we served the people who came. And that leads me to another point, too, between excellence and perfection. You know, we're in a fake it till you make it culture, and that's not how you do excellence. Excellence really is authentic. When you strive to do the best that you can with what you have, there's an authenticity that comes along with it that cannot be duplicated, and it cannot be fabricated. It can't be faked. And this is what I've learned about excellence as a core value, excellent in a code of ethics. And everyone attached to your organization, everyone attached to your business, a subcontractor, a salesperson, a customer service person, whoever it is, the hospitality team, the greeters, the servers, the kitchen staff, if it's a church, whoever is associated with your organization needs to know that excellence is one of our code of conduct standards, that everything we do it as unto the Lord, heartily, and not as unto man. And that truly is a reflection of the leadership. It's truly a reflection of the visionary. And if that's you, consider, where are you on this spectrum of doing things with excellence? Do you just throw things together at the last minute? Is it sloppy, unthought out, unprayed over? Or is it deliberate? Is it something that is intentional and has a very definite purpose? And that purpose would be to please the Lord our God, whether it's in your business, whether it's in your organization, whether it's in the way that you serve people. So there are some very practical ways to demonstrate excellence. They can be as simple as showing up on time. But don't just show up on time and be prepared. Don't just show up on time and be prepared. Show up on time and be present. Be dialed in to the moment. Be present in the moment. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to the ebb and flow of things that are in your environment. Another practical way to demonstrate excellence is to continuously improve. Continuously learn new concepts, learn new technologies, learn new processes, learn new systems. Excellence is available to you, even with a limited budget, limited staffing, and tight working capital. Excellence is available to you. When you, as the leader, demonstrate excellence, demonstrate high quality, demonstrate that it's important to you to do your best with what you have, it's like dropping a pebble into the lake and watching the ripple effect. You watch that ripple effect impact the people in your immediate environment, those who are watching your leadership, those who are learning from your leadership, your proteges that you're training to come behind you. You just see that ripple effect. Then that ripple effect impacts the way you function, and the way you function impacts the people you serve, and the people you serve, whether it's a client or a customer, they can see the demonstrated excellence. And excellence is absolutely one of the ways that I've demonstrated a difference between my organization and some of my competitors, because clients have seen that I might have a smaller team, I might have less resources, but wow, look at the way those folks function. This is important to them. What they're doing for me actually matters to them. Not only am I impressed, but they've built a great name, and I want to share that name with the people in my life, i.e., referrals. And doing things in excellence, operating in excellence, building in excellence will absolutely differentiate you from the competition. And so I could go on, but I think I've driven home the point. Remember, just because you have limited resources doesn't mean that you can't function in excellence. After all, we serve an excellent God. We serve a God who is the source in light of our limited resources. And so, how can we do small better? We can do small better by really doing an excellent job at what it is that we're doing. So I want to hear from you. Why don't you drop a comment in the comment section? Tell us about how excellence has helped you differentiate yourself from the competition. Or if you feel like you could do a little bit better job at being more excellent in your pursuit, put that in there too. We won't judge you, but we will pray for you. Do small better by being excellent.